Hi, folks, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So, the other day I was typing away in a document and it made me wonder, how much am I really taking for granted over here? What is the complexity hidden behind this simple act of me hitting a key on my keyboard, seeing it on the screen while I'm typing in Google Docs, which is obviously working over the internet? What are all the technologies that get invoked in the simple act of me pressing a key, that character going over the internet, and then showing up on my screen? I have various peripherals, including my mic, that are connected to my computer via USB. My display is connected via a Thunderbolt cable. I have a wireless keyboard that talks to my computer over the Bluetooth specification. And then when you want to transmit this over the internet, you start invoking a bunch of different specs like HTTP, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, TCP, the Transmission Control Protocol, IP, the Internet Protocol, the Domain Name Service, the Border Gateway Protocol for routing through the internet. And then when you hit the server side, it's probably something like Linux running on all the servers. But even here on the client, I'm on Mac OS X, that's also Unix. And looking at the hardware on the server side, we probably have a bunch of peripherals like hard disks or SSD drives that talk to the motherboard over SCSI. We have other things like network cards and other I/O things that talk to the chip via PCI Express. And then you probably are talking to a server that has an x86 chip in it. Whether it's Intel or AMD, it still has the x86 instruction set. I went and did a search for the specifications of all these technologies on the internet. Most of them I could find, but some of them were behind paywalls. For example, the Thunderbolt spec is behind a paywall. I couldn't find it on the public internet, and so I took a rough guess at it. And what I wanted to see was how many pages long is the spec for each of these technologies. And I rounded up to the closest 100 because I just want to get a rough idea. I'm not going for precision over here. So USB is about 600 pages. Thunderbolt, again, I couldn't find this, but I'm guessing based on other similar things, it's around 1,000 pages. Bluetooth is huge. It's 2,800 pages. Once you get to the Internet Protocol specs, they are actually surprisingly concise. HTTP is only about 200 pages, and all the others like TCP, DNS, BGP, they're all roughly 100 pages each. This brings us to POSIX. The POSIX spec is astoundingly large. It's 4,000 pages. This describes all the system calls and some of the very basic system utilities as well. Going down into hardware, the SCSI spec is about 500 pages. The PCI Express spec is around 800. And that brings us to the x86 instruction set architecture, which is about 2,200 pages. If you add up all of this, it comes to about 12,500 pages. And assuming about 500 words per page, that's more than 6 million words. Now, one sheet of paper is about 1/10 of a millimeter. So if you printed all of this out, it would be about 1.25 meters, which is about 3/4 of the height of an average male. This, by the way, does not even include all the complexity of the specific software that we were using, Google Docs or Google Sheets in this case, or even if you didn't go over the internet, if you were just using something like Microsoft Word locally, that itself is a huge piece of software and could easily go into the tens of millions of lines of code. If you look at a regular Linux distribution, that goes into the hundreds of millions of lines of code. My goal with all of this was just to kind of show what a mountain of complexity we stand on when we operate our computers every day, and how many windows have to align just perfectly for it to all work together in unison and without fail. All right, thank you very much. I'll see you next time.